y'all, welcome to the Burrow. I'm Hillary, your resident fragrance-loving muggle, and today I'm excited to share with you some of my signature scents that I have lined up for 2020. So if you're excited to see what those are, stay tuned. So you may be wondering, what is a signature fragrance? And a signature fragrance is one that you are known by. Just like how you can sign your signature at the bottom of a paper, this is something that if you walk into the room, people instantly recognize it and know that it's you. So I've separated 8 different fragrances up here, 2 for each season, and let's get started. Okay, so first up we have Maison Lancome's Iris Dragee. Now, although this fragrance has quite a few notes listed in the pyramid on Fragrantica, the main things that I get from this are sugar, iris, and almond. It's a very gourmand take on iris, and it is beautiful. And I love how after I've worn it for a few hours, it does end up drying down to a vanillic musk, although for a vast majority of the life of this fragrance, it is rather linear. But really, really good. Great for spring, and it just kind of makes me happy. So our second fragrance for spring is Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. This fragrance had quite a bit of hype behind it, and unfortunately along with hype goes hate, but I absolutely love this fragrance. This fragrance blends black cherry, cherry liqueur, almond, Peru balsam, Tonka, rose, just all of my favorite things into one fragrance, and what you're left with is this beautiful syrupy cherry experience. It's fairly linear from start to finish, but I mean, it is gorgeous. I haven't really smelled any others like it. I know that there's clones out there and that sort of thing for those that can't acquire Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and I totally understand that. But this is definitely one of my favorites in the arsenal, and I will sometimes pair it with Baccarat Rouge 540 just to give it a little bit of added longevity, and because then I feel like I'm a walking cocktail, and why not? So now that we're moving on to summer, we have Panah London's Brandied Pear. So this fragrance has notes of pear, banana, vanilla, musk, lemon, and green leaves. But what I mostly get from this is if you've ever seen those little pouches of banana flavored applesauce that you can give to kids, it smells exactly like what those taste like. I have a 3-year-old, so I'm often just handing him these pouches of applesauce just to get 2 seconds to myself. And if you like the taste or the smell of those, this is perfect for that. And honestly, as a mom, it's probably already in my hair, so I might as well just pair it with a real fragrance so I feel slightly more put together and slightly less like a train wreck. Next we have Delina by Parfums Marlena. This fragrance is beautiful. I have never smelled anything else quite like this. It has notes of rose, rhubarb, lychee, vanilla. It is gorgeous. Now, a lot of people have asked if it's a very rose heavy fragrance, and I would say in the cooler months, not really. I think that the rhubarb and the lychee probably take more of the reins then, but when it's warm out, oh my gosh, when it hits like 100 degrees here and I'm wearing Delina, the rose projects. I mean, like, it is just kicking off my skin, and it is delicious. A beautiful candied rose, but it's still fresh and tart. The best way I can describe this actually is if you've ever just sat and drank a raspberry lemonade and you feel that tartness in your mouth as it goes down your throat, like you can, like how your taste buds kind of just like when you're drinking it. My mouth does the same thing when I wear Delina. It is tart, it is also sweet, it is floral, it is fruity, it is delicious. So if you've never tried Parfums Marlena Delina, definitely get your nose on it. Moving on to fall, we have Guerlain's Tonka Imperial. This is actually my newest fragrance that I have acquired. It was a Christmas gift, and I love it so much. This fragrance has tonka, almond, pine, honey, tobacco. It is perfect for the fall. Now, if you've ever smelled, or if you've ever eaten a ginger snap, you know how when you smell them, they have this really spicy nuance to them, but when you bite into them, it's actually sweeter and doesn't have quite the same punch that the smell had initially. The taste that you get when you bite into the cookie is kind of like what this smells like. And instead of like ginger for a ginger snap or a gingerbread, it's replaced by tobacco. This is definitely a gourmand. It is smooth, it is buttery, it is gorgeous. I actually wore this on a Santa Claus train ride, and I got a number of compliments from it. I don't usually get compliments. I am a dog groomer in real life, and I don't talk to many humans on a normal basis. So yeah, Tonka Imperial for the win for sure. So next up for fall, we have Teisenddu by Frassai. This fragrance was initially inspired by Welsh immigrants traveling to Patagonia and bringing with them their desserts and things like the torta negra cake. So what I get from this fragrance is a beautiful spicy cake. Like there's no vanilla listed in the notes, but you can smell this beautiful vanillic cake-like texture with nutmeg, but then you also have this underlying leather note. It is listed as a note, but you don't really smell it as itself. You kind of smell more of the texture of leather, if that makes sense. It's just kind of this base for the fragrance that all of these sweet notes sit on. And my favorite part is that as your skin warms up, this beautiful juniper note starts to sing, and it is almost like you're eating a picnic in the forest, and you're eating this beautiful cake, and you can smell the pine needles around you, and it is one of those fragrances that tells a story. And that's one thing that I love, is fragrances that have a narrative to them. And this one is definitely one of my favorites. Definitely a really, really interesting fragrance. If you haven't gotten your nose on it, please do, because it is delicious. If you're a gourmand lover, if you like woody fragrances and you're okay with sweets, definitely try this one. It's very, very good. Moving on to winter, we have Aoud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now, I have here the EDP. There is also an extrait version, but I personally find it to be a little too scratchy for my taste, so I stick with this one. This fragrance has notes of rose, vanilla, violet, benzoin, oud. I mean, it is amazing. You can smell the quality in this fragrance. This fragrance is, when people say beast mode, I usually think of this. This will last on me 12 hours minimum. I think it's lasted on my skin more than 24 hours before. I cannot wear this fragrance if it's going to be above 50 degrees because I know I'm going to choke people out. And that's just with 1 or 2 sprays. This bottle is probably enough to last me a lifetime. Thank goodness, because it was expensive. But it literally smells like a rose flavored pixie stick. I don't know if they have those everywhere around the world, but the sweetness, and there's a little bit of tartness to it. It smells exactly like the taste you get in your mouth when you eat a pixie stick, just rose flavored. It is delicious. Last but certainly not least, we have Musk Ravager by Frederic Malle. Now, I just have here a travel atomizer. Eventually I'll get a full bottle, but this atomizer is really nice. Anyways, so this fragrance has notes of cinnamon and clove, vanilla, musk, tonka, lavender, amber. It is delicious, but what I get mostly from this fragrance is a dry cinnamon and vanilla and musk. It smells different on everybody that I've ever been around that's worn it. If you wear it too high in the heat, it does start to pull a bit more of like animalic musky, if that makes sense. But as long as you're wearing it in cool weather, it's pretty people friendly. Besides the fact that this one also is for sure a beast mode fragrance. It is so spicy and dry and gorgeous. It definitely can be a Christmas fragrance, although I mean we just had Christmas, so it's kind of late for that. But yeah, it definitely smells like it could be a Christmas fragrance. Definitely a full December long fragrance. It's a warming fragrance, so if it is really cold outside and you just want to warm up your bones, Musk Ravager by Frederic Malle is definitely one to do that. I hope you enjoyed this list of signature worthy fragrances that I compiled for you today. Now, those are just what I'm going to wear. What are you going to be wearing? Be sure to comment that below in the discussion because I'd love to chat with you about it. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like and subscribe. You can even hit that notification bell if you want to know, I don't know, next time I upload, because that'd be cool. So thank you guys so much for stopping by the Burrow, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.